Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Casual Gamer Oz in our 7th career season on F1 2017 with Ferrari driver Ben Waterworth. Oh, it feels so nice to say that. We are here at the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. Highest ever qualifying here. Pole position back in Season 2 of F1 2016. Let's get into this. We have a dry race, and after our poor effort in Australia, in both qualifying and in the race, we need to bounce back. They expect us to be at least in the top 6, which I think is doable, considering we got 6 at Albert Park, a circuit that we've often struggled with at the past in terms of at least qualifying. And given that we've got a much better car than we had in our Toro Rosso days, I feel that that is very much achievable here in Shanghai. And at the moment, we're on pole position pace, which is good. And we'll see if we can maintain that. Of course, anybody who's watched any of our previous videos in Casual Gamer Oz, just a bit of an update in terms of what we do here. One-shot qualifying, 5-lap races. We had about a season and a half where we used flashbacks to help us get out of Toro Rosso after 6 long bloody seasons with them, but we're back to implementing no flashbacks. That is the rule here, and basically we just deal with what we've got and try to be our very best. At the moment, our very best right now is looking quite good. We're still on pole position pace. This car feels so much better in cornering. Can I just point that out? So much easier to go flat out into these corners because it just feels so much more stuck to the road than the Toro Rosso did. Now, this is the only downside to having this Ferrari as opposed to what we had in the Toro Rosso. We had the fastest car in Formula 1 with that Toro Rosso after working our little asses off to get the best powertrain. And now we've obviously taken a little bit of a step back, but we've got a better overall car in this Ferrari. And maybe that's going to work as a retreat because we are still on pole position pace here. If I can hold on to it here in the last corner, which I just can. We're going to get pole position here. It's our first one in a while. Yeah, baby. No congratulations at all from Jeff. Oh, right. Whatever. My first pole position for Ferrari in only my 2nd Grand Prix for the team. And we take it by 0.6 of a second. Might be a case of listening to WR Schumacher and upping our difficulty level. But I'm very happy with that. Very, very, very happy with that. Our first pole here since China, well, since first, 2nd Grand Prix, a 2nd season of F1 2016. Learn to speak, man. Anyway, let's advance ourselves through here and get ready to go to race day. And we're going to get into it right now. So our best ever finish here at Shanghai was 3rd, which was last year for Red Bull. It's our first pole position, by the way, since Japan last season, which of course was sort of assisted by the fact that we had it on super easy. You have to go back to Hungary, which was super assisted. I only really classify us of having one actual pole position in this game, and that was in Canada last season. And even then, I sort of loosely skipped the last chicane and got away with it. So if you want to be technical, this could be our first proper pole position with no real complete assistance. So we're going to get 65... what do you call it? R&D points. That's been interesting. I'm very disappointed that you lose all those R&D points moving into a new team. I think that's a bit of a... I mean, it catch-22, I guess, when they turn around and say, oh, if you change teams, you'll lose all your development points. But still. Alright, remember we are the reigning World Championships, people. World Champion, I should say. So, we're trying to get our first win for Ferrari. And obviously it's great to be able to have a teammate that actually is going to get points as well. Terrible race in Australia. We, of course, have no flashbacks and really lost our race in that first corner. Hopefully here we can avoid trouble into the first corner, starting on pole. And hopefully we can just lead from the front to the end. Alrighty, here we go. First pole for Ferrari. 4, 5... Front row for Ferrari as well. Vettel got a very good start. I get a slow start. Vettel will lead this one. And that's fine by me just at the moment. I don't want to get into trouble off the line. I'm just going to try and maintain this little bit of a gap to Seb. And I'm just going to let him go around there before not really having a challenge of him. Because there's a section coming up here now that I believe I can get him. I'm going to put it up to Richmo to try and out-drag him. They expect me to finish top 4. I think I can get him into this corner here. And we just outbrake our teammate and slide ourselves into the lead once again of this Grand Prix, if you don't mind. And right now, barring any complete misfortunes, this is ours to lose. Given that we are, of course, leading from the front. A position which is where you want to be. Yes, thank you, Jeffrey. I know we're looking good from the start. because we're actually leading the race. No shit, Sherlock. And, yeah, that's what we wanted to do. Because I do remember that pole position in F1 2016 Season 2. It was kind of a similar thing, because we were in Sauber in those days. Lost the lead off the line, but then I think I retook it back. But then I just had a dog of a race. I didn't really make a mistake as such. I just kind of... Well, I did make one mistake into kind of the opening corner sequences. Ran myself ragged, and then just from there, I just kept making tiny little mistakes, running wide here and there. And that ultimately cost me a very good result there. So I remember that one, actually. So hopefully we won't have a repeat here. Because I've got to now get myself back into this non-flashback mindset, which, of course, I kind of got used to for the last season and a half in Toro Rosso. Car just feels so much nicer to drive. As I said in qualifying, particularly in the corners, it just feels so much easier to turn in. The grip's there. You know, the understeer is definitely nowhere near as bad. So I definitely feel our development will be on the powertrain, because I think the rest of the car, maybe we'll just spread it around a little bit. Got 4 seasons to do that. We're not going to work on the in-house components, where obviously we did that a lot with our first seasons at Toro Rosso, where all we did was kind of work on the factory, which made parts get developed quicker. Or maybe we will. I don't know. We'll see what we do in terms of our points. Should get a few here for, hopefully, touchwood, winning this Grand Prix. It's kind of a case now where it's not a guaranteed win, whereas, you know, with flashbacks involved, I would just say, yep, I'm winning this race. Although we are pulling away a lot from Seb, so maybe it will be a case of upping the difficulty here. Who knows? Who knows? I think it's kind of fine for the moment, though, just on the basis of we're still not perfect. We're still obviously no flashbacks makes it a little bit more difficult for us too. Anyway, we are definitely pulling away a lot from our teammate. A whole lot. Which is good. And this could be a 1-2 here for Ferrari, which I've never had a 1-2 in this game. Because obviously with when we were winning races for Sauber and Toro Rosso, our teammates kind of sucked. Nazar didn't score any points, did he either? So in my seasons that you've only ever seen me in, my teammates have been completely ridiculous. So anyway, it really does go to show the difference, doesn't it, in terms of the pace of the cars. Like even on that difficulty level with Toro Rosso, it still wasn't like I was getting pole position every race, was it? I mean, I wasn't getting pole position at all. Just had to fight my way through the field at least. Which this time around, obviously with a faster car, you can see where where my efforts are. That's what I'm trying to say. Hamilton's got himself into 3rd this time around. I was hoping that with those qualifying results in Australia, that maybe Red Bull and Williams would be having a bit of a challenge to the pecking order this time around, but like it was a bit of a one-off there at Albert Park, sadly. Because the Mercedes look like they've found themselves back up into where they generally are. It's going to be maybe one of the most boring races you've ever watched here in Casual Gamer Odds if we just maintain this position at the moment. Because I know obviously the Monaco, Japanese and Hungarian ones last year weren't exactly exciting when I really did change that difficulty to make it super easy for me. Let's just once again take another look at this beautiful car. I've still got 62 on my car. Thought they maybe automatically change it to number 1. Maybe you can change that in your settings. I know you can edit your driver. It's going to change my helmet when I went to Ferrari, but I think I'll keep it. I like the green and gold helmet that I've got going for me at the moment. It's nice. Alrighty. An ultimate lap now. It's the first time I don't set the fastest lap. 3.3 second gap to our teammate there, according to Jeffrey. Oh, this is where I often bin it at this track. Run myself a little ragged, but still maintain this healthy gap over Seb. I like having a teammate who is good. I mean, back-to-back wins here for Ferrari. Of course, the only non-Ferrari World Championship in the last 3 or so seasons was myself. If I can win the remaining... if I win this one and remain the remaining 4 seasons, that will take me to 5 championships, which would take me over the top of Vettel and Hamilton in terms of what they've won in this game. They both won. Vettel won 3, didn't he? Hamilton, well, technically he won 4. No, hang on. Yeah, because Hamilton won the 2 in F1 2016. Hamilton won the first 2 in this one, then Vettel won the next 3. So it's 4-3-1 in terms of overall championships at the moment. Just on Casual Gamer Oz, of course, having watched it, if you watched it from the very, very beginning. We've got a very nice, healthy lead here, haven't we? It's interesting to see the Toro Rossos in terms of that they should still have the most powerful engine, and yet they're really nowhere, are they, in the grand scheme of things of this race? Goes to show what difference a good driver can make to a car that's not exactly brilliant. And Skiviat's not doing the best, is he? Alright, final lap, Shanghai. We're looking to win our very first ever Chinese Grand Prix. We've never won the Chinese Grand Prix here on Casual Gamer Oz. Best was third. That came this time last season. And at the moment, barring any complete catastrophes here in the last lap, we're on our way to rectify what happened in Australia. Plus, it's our home Grand Prix too. So, once again, best qualifying. We failed it and couldn't win our home Grand Prix. But we can win a Grand Prix that's at least within the same sort of kind of geographical region. Kind of. Asia, Oceania. Same region if you're counting how they do it in soccer, of course, for Australia. But anyway, it's going to feel good, folks. Winning a Grand Prix for Ferrari. Taking this long to get into the bloody team. Going to be the third different team that we've won a race for. After, of course, Sauber and Toro Rosso. Second in this game. Not just over on Casual Gamer Oz. We've got so much fuel left. We're just going to whack it into rich mode just to show off. So we stretch ourselves down the back straight and prep ourselves for victory in a red car. What a dream this would be. I can actually get to see the names Ben Waterworth winning in a Ferrari. As we go now in to the last straight to win the Chinese Grand Prix. Yes!
That's a race win. You've really been great today.
Lights the flag. It's the first time that we have won a Grand Prix from pole position since Canada last season. So we will take it. Actually, no, since Japan last season. I know what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at this in a red suit. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, everybody. I swear our mechanics look exactly the same as they did back in Toro Rosso. They all just like me so much that they need to come with me. And how did poor old Verstappen do? Fourth? Oh, yeah. He looks pretty disappointed with that, though, doesn't he? Look at that! Red suited Ferrari. The very first Australian to drive Ferrari, too, if I'm not mistaken. And, yeah. Thank you, China. Looks so much better in red, don't I? Spraying that champagne. Victory, victory, victory. Oh, Maurizio, smile, I was going to say ugly, but it's not that ugly. You unhappy bastard, that's what I was trying to say. Does it say, what does it say on my suit? It doesn't actually say my name on the suit. It says Sebastian on the Sebastian Vettel suit. Anyway, there we go. Verstappen ended up getting fourth, Bottas fifth, Ricciardo, Massa, Perez, Hulkenberg, Oakenberg? Who's driver of the day?
Probably Carlos Sainz.
Carlos Sainz, alright, whatever. So Vettel leading the championship, Ricciardo in second, so Australians second and third in the World Championship. We're third, Bottas, Verstappen, Hamilton, Massa, Perez, Grosjean, Hulkenberg. That, of course, is the top 10. The constructors, well, we're romping away there at the moment. 68 points over Red Bull, 48. And poor old Toro Rosso yet to score points there, as is the case, because they're not very good without me. All right, let's have a look at how our old constructors, our career mode points are looking here. I know how to speak, people. You know I know how to speak. As we finally find ourselves here. If they want to take some sweet-ass time, then that's completely fine by me. Not really. We'd like it to take a little bit quicker. Alright, so we get a good boost there. Up to 299. Won't really be enough to develop anything. Now, we should gain a bit here. We gain everything but one. So, okay, we're only one behind. Career mode. I'm going to zoom ourselves back into the green. I'd like to become number one driver for Ferrari. That'd be a nice achievement. But yeah, for the first time, we really don't care about a reputation because we don't want to leave the team. And once again, to prove that we didn't use any flashbacks, there we go. Okay, that is China. We're a race victory for Ferrari. Vettel looking very calm there, talking to Maurizio, despite the fact that I whooped his ass. We're off to Bahrain next. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment here on Casual Gamer Oz, and we thank you for your company. Good night.